It is the second day of January 2023, coming to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is TV47 News Tonight. To topics this evening.
Tonight.
Fear and panic at an all-time high in Kitut area of Marakwet East after the killing of two girls by suspected bandits on New Year's Day. And as Kenyans continue ushering in the new year.
Okay, nina plan this year at least I do some savings of money. Niko nina save at least per month 5,000. Hivyo by the end of the year at least nikuwe na pesa nianze kutaka kuanza kuuza mitumba pole hivyo kama side hustle.
Experts reveal why most resolutions don't work and what you can do to make yours work.
They should not do what they like, they should do whatever it takes. Number 4, people should not manage time, but they should make time.
Plus, late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI lies in state in the Vatican with tens of thousands set to view his body.
Welcome to the broadcast. Philip Omondi is on the sign language interpretation, and I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyerungete. You can always talk to us on our socials, which are below your screens right about now. Now, fear and panic at an all-time high in Kitut area of Marakwet East after the killing of two girls by suspected bandits on New Year's Day. Elgeyo Marakwet County Governor Wesley Rotich has asked security organs to ensure the bandits who killed two girls from the same family on Sunday have been arrested and the livestock that was stolen by be recovered. This, as the father of the girls is calling for justice to prevail.
Daniel Bowen is still trying to come to terms following the gruesome murder of his two daughters. The girls were killed by suspected bandits in Kitut and a ward in Marakwet East constituency at around 10 a.m. Sunday before driving away over 70 herds of cattle towards Tiati constituency. The father now wants justice to prevail. One of the girls was anticipating to resume her studies in Kobulu Secondary School, while her younger sister was in class 7 in Kabetwa Primary School. The brother is nursing injuries following the incident. In a statement, Governor Wesley Rotich has called upon security officers to speed up the investigations into the matter. Rotich was flanked by Roads Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen to mourn with the family of the deceased. This comes barely a day after the governor of Elgeyo Marakwet and security agencies in the area tested a surveillance drone to help them in taming the insecurity along the Kerio belt.
quite some unfortunate turn of events there. Now to some politics. Campaigns for the Garissa township are at the peak, with the Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale leading campaigns for UDA's Mohamed Deko, while on the other hand, Mandera Senator Ali Roba is leading campaigns for UDM's Nasir Dolal. The by-elections are set for the 5th of January to replace Duale, who resigned after being appointed CS for Defense. Flora Limuki reports has been following the campaigns for Thursday's by-elections, and here is her report on the state of the campaigns in Garissa.
The preparations for Garissa Township parliamentary by-election are in top gear, with the election just 72 hours away. And with just 24 hours to the campaigning deadline, aspirants are leaving nothing to chance to ensure they communicate their agenda to the over 53,000 prospective voters. Despite the IEBC clearing 6 candidates, the race has been billed as a 2-horse race between Mohamed Baro Deko of UDA and UDM's Nasir Mohamed Dolal. Defense Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has mounted heavy campaigns for UDA candidate Mohamed Deko as Senator Ali Roba rallies for Dolal of UDM. Dolal is making his 4th attempt to clinch the seat.
Na sisi kama UDM tuko na candidate kati yao ambao ni Nasir Jofle. Tunataka nyinyi wote kama viongozi ambao wanawania, tafadhali mufanye program yenu kwa hizi siku chache baki kwa njia ya amani.
Both campaigns are seeking to take advantage of the gatherings brought by the Christmas festivities, with Senator Roba calling on Garissa electorates to maintain peace as by-election draws closer.
Lakini nyinyi kama viongozi musifanye uchuki, na nimefurahi sana kama tunapata candidates wawili wa kutoka township, Garissa Township constituency, wakuje kwa hafla pamoja bila uhasama, wazungumze na raia, wakiweza kumaliza waende. Besides
Deko and Dolal, the other candidates cleared by the IEBC to score it out in the race are Ibrahim Malo of NAK Kenya, DAPK's Muahideen Abdi Rashid, ODM will be represented by Abdi Faisal Amin, and Abdi Rakim Osman will fly the Democratic Party's flag.
Trust us that we will count each and every vote that is cast. We appeal to you to cast your votes and peacefully go home and leave the commission to do its work in terms of tallying, in terms of announcing the results.
The by-election slated for 5th January is to replace former Member of Parliament Aden Duale, who was appointed the Cabinet Secretary for Defense. Duale has served as the area MP for the last 15 years.
Right, definitely, and we'll be keeping you up to speed on all the whole by-elections, which will be happening on the 5th of January 2023. Remember, also Kandara by-elections will be happening on the 5th of January to replace Cabinet Secretary of Water and Sanitation, that is Alice Wahome. And right here, TV47 will definitely be keeping you up to speed on that and other by-elections, and we'll definitely be keeping you up to speed on that. Now to some other matters and sad news. Insecurity in Matungulu constituency, Machakos County, is at its peak after night guards earlier today found murdered by unknown people in a suspected robbery at the First Mart supermarket in Tala Market. Now, this comes barely 2 weeks after yet another night guard lost his life in a similar scenario. Reporter Dennis Atiano with the details, which will be bringing you up to speed later on. Now, moving on to other matters. Right, now leaders in the UDA party have pitched camp in Kandara in the final push to woo residents to vote for the party candidate ahead of the Thursday by-election. Flora Limuki is back with the campaign trail in Kandara.
Preparations for the Kandara by-election have hit homestretch ahead of the election day Thursday. Area elected leaders led by Muranga Governor Irungu Kangata, Maragwa Member of Parliament Mary Waithira, and Betty Marina, the county woman representative, rallied the residents to vote for Shege Njuguna as their next Member of Parliament.
Kijana anaitwa Shege wa Njuguna ambaye tunataka awe mbunge wa Kandara constituency. Tumetumwa na rais ambaye ametuelezea huyu kijana ako na maono ambao inaweza saidia wananchi wa Murang'a.
The trio said voting for the UDA candidate will be reciprocating the good gesture extended to the locals by President William Ruto for appointing 2 cabinet secretaries who hail from the area.
Sisi tuko kwa majority party juu ya numbers. Numbers ni mimi na Chege Juguna, mjumbe wa Maragwa na wewe mwingine. Tukichezea namba zetu tutashindwa na wale watu wengine. Tuhakikishe kila namba kwa bunge ni muhimu na iko. Mtatupia mjumbe wa Kandara.
Tarehe 5 tutoke kwa wingi, twende tupige kura zetu, na tukifika hapo tupigie Chege Juguna kura. Chama ligani? Tutague chama ya UDA na Chege Juguna.
On her part, Waithira exuded confidence that UDA will carry the day on Thursday, pointing out that they have done intense campaigns for him. She urged the residents to turn out in large numbers to vote for the UDA candidate, adding that transport shall be provided for the elderly and those physically challenged.
Tarehe 5 asubuhi na mapema ni kutoa kila mtu.
8 candidates will be facing off to capture the Kandara parliamentary seat, which was left vacant after the immediate former legislator Alice Wahome was appointed to the cabinet. According to the IEBC, the area has over 105,000 registered voters. Flora Limuke, TV 47.
Well, thank you for that, Flora Limuke. Now, President William Ruto has summoned his cabinet for a 5-day retreat. State House spokesperson Hussein Mohammed says the retreat is said to be for the executive arm of the government that included advisors and principal secretaries. Now, the meeting will be chaired by President William Ruto. The agenda is to adapt the administration's economic transformation plan based on priority areas such as food security and job creation. Giving his New Year's speech on Saturday in Mombasa, the president said the government is committed to reviving the economy. Ruto said the government will not shy away from making tough decisions aimed at sustainable economic growth. Right now to a story that we all resonate to during the whole New Year celebrations and this particular time. Kenyans have been urged to set specific resolutions that have a time frame and measures to be taken to ensure the resolutions are achieved. This even as many youths look forward to set up their own businesses and start families this year.
Apart from engaging with family, the festive season served as a time for many to evaluate the achievements they made in 2022 and come up with new resolutions for 2023. And as Kenyans settle into the new year, a majority of Kenyan youth have expressed plans to set up new businesses and start families.
Nina plan this year at least I do some savings of money. Nikuwe nina save at least per month 5,000. Hivyo by the end of the year at least nikuwe na pesa nianze kuanza kuuza mitumba.
Loan fulani hapo nimeona nimeshaka apply. Soka kigonga tu hivi mimi naongeza stock yangu and then hapo September hapo nichukue mama nimweke kejani.
However, a section of Kenyans failed to achieve their 2022 resolutions, some citing the high cost of life and disruptions caused by the electioneering period.
Ningeomba tu Mungu anibadilishie mwaka ikuwe bigi kuliko venye sai na hustle.
Sam Vidambo, a life coach, says most resolutions remain unachieved due to lack of a proper framework, setting non-specified targets and duplicating other people's targets.
Instead of saying that you want a realistic or attainable goal, talk about numerical goals. Because, for example, we have 2 people. One is saying, I want to lose weight. Another person is saying, I want to lose 10 kgs by December. You see, these 2 people, they are aiming at the same thing, but the one who is talking about 10 kgs has high chances of achieving the target. But one of the things that affects if someone is able to realize their goals or not is if you've incorporated numbers in your target, and also other people get distracted along the way. There are 2 main things that always distracts people from achieving their targets. Number 1 is lack of incorporation of numbers, and number 2, getting distracted along the way.
Vidambo advises Kenyans to focus on daily targets, which will help to form a pattern that will ultimately culminate to achieving one's long-term goals.
There's something which I always call 21, 92. It takes 21 days to form a habit. It takes 90 days to form a lifestyle, and then it takes 2 years to change a culture. So the first 21 days of this year, someone should look at how they can form a new habit.
Kenyans have also been advised to keep accountability partners and seek motivation to avoid disruption and to pick up after veering off their targets.
Not do what they like, they should do whatever it takes. Number 4, people should not manage time, but they should make time. Because some people will say, sina time ya kwenda gym. That's what people say. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time with my family. I don't have time for this. But time is always there.
Sylvia Nyongesa, TV 47, Nairobi.
All right, and we'll definitely, Director is telling me that he has quite a number of resolutions planned, so I'll be expecting that from him. But then, what are your resolutions for 2023 and the 2022 ones? Were you able to achieve them really? Anyway, now to some across the borders. Thousands of people have been paying their respects to former Pope Benedict XVI at his lying in state in the Vatican since the exercise started. As dawn broke over the Vatican, a queue had already formed at the edge of St. Peter's Square, as Paul Kirobi now tells us.
2nd of January at the Vatican City, long queues at the St. Peter Basilica. Thousands of people woke up in the wee hours to pay their last respect to the late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, who died on 31st of December ahead of Thursday burial. The body of Pontiff will lie in state at St. Peter's Basilica for the next 2 days, as per the tradition of the funeral rites of a pope, who is also the head of the Vatican City State. The funeral will take place in St. Peter's Square before the Pope Emeritus is laid to rest in the tombs beneath the Basilica. Here, church leaders and cardinals are having the last prayers before the body is taken to the specific position to allow worshippers and members of public to pay their last respect to him. Pope Benedict XVI is dressed in red vestments with a gold-edged martyr on his head. His clasped hands holding a rosary. The dressing is according to the tradition of the Catholic popes. Red clothing is worn during the burial ceremonies. Usually, it is the dean of the College of Cardinals who organizes the funeral if it is the sitting pope who has passed on. This makes it a history moment for the church for a sitting pope celebrating mass for his predecessor.
And that the funerals will be on Thursday this coming week, Thursday the 5th of January, at 9:30 on St. Peter's Square, and they will be presided over by Pope Francis.
The late Pope Benedict died on New Year's Eve at the age of 95, almost a decade after he stood down because of ill health. He has been the Catholic Church Pope since 2013, before he stepped down serving for almost a period of 8 years. Paul Kirobi, TV 47.
And back home, Paul Kisue Nyongesa, chief from Misihu location in Webuye, Bungoma County, has surprised the residents of Turkana after he arrived in the county with relief food given by the residents of his location to help the residents of Turkana, especially children who are facing hunger. And as a reporter from Turkana, Kitiomika, reports, Chief Paul Kisue Nyongesa traveled more than 12 hours from Bungoma County to Turkana to give the residents relief food.
Residents affected by hunger in the Natapeno, Korihang and Naregai in Loima constituency, Turkana County, were surprised today when they received an uncommon visitor who is a chief from Misihu location in Webuye, Bungoma County, who had brought them relief food, clothes and shoes for the children.
Mimi hii kitu imenichangaza sana kuona chief kutoka maeneo mengine ya Kenya, sehemu za Webuye, mahali hata mimi sijafika, kufika kwetu hapa Turkana kwa hii sub-county ya Loima kutuletea chakula. Ametuonyesha upendo mkubwa. Leo hii watu wamefurahia hapa kuona chief kutoka mbali ndiye ametufikishia chakula.
According to the chief Paul, he felt touched after watching harrowing stories of Kenyans and more so children in the region affected by drought. He decided to ask the residents of his location for help contributing food and non-food items for the affected Kenyans victims.
Tumeleta hata pia na viazi ziko, tuna mchele, tuna sukari. Na hii ni kwa sababu nilifikiria ya kwamba Christmas ya tarehe 1 mwaka wa 2023 nile na marafiki zangu wa Turkana kwa ajili ya yala ambayo nilikuzwa nayo. Na kwa sababu mimi ni mja Mungu, nilihisi ya kwamba Mturkana na Mluya wote ni wana Kenya. Na ndiposa sababu niliamua ya kwamba nikuje mpaka upande huu ili nikapate kupatiana chakula kwa watu wa Turkana.
Residents of Loima who benefited from relief food were surprised by Chief Paul Kisuya with some of the children wearing shoes for the first time in their lives.
Na huyu chief tumeona ni chief bora kabisa. Naomba hata rais wetu wa Kenya angekuwa mtu mwingine angepatia hata huyu mtu choo ngine ya juu, kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye anajali wa Turkana. Hata hapa kuna machifu ambaye wako area hii, lakini hakuna mwenye ako busara kama huyu chifu ambaye ametoka mbali.
Turkana County is still facing the ravages of hunger occasioned by the drought situation after it failed to rain for 4 seasons, a situation that has caused 38% of children to suffer from malnutrition.
Na tumeweza kusafiri kwa mwendo mrefu. Hakika kama viongozi wanaweza kuiga mfano ambao tumeona katika Chief Paul, hakika tunaweza kusaidia nchi zaidi.
Kitio Mika, TV47 from Natapeno, Nadapal in Turkana County.
All right, thank you for that, Kitio Mika. Now, detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, are investigating the murder of a university student whose lifeless body was found lying in the boyfriend's house. This story was produced by Chichi Josephine.
19-year-old Phyllis Jepteling's body was collected at Ezra Kipkemoi's house at Naka Estate, Nakuru County on January after disappearing before Christmas. Nakuru County DCI Commander Anthony Sunguti said the body was found after neighbors complained about a foul smell emanating from Kipkemoi's house.
From preliminary investigations, we have established that the house where the deceased was found belongs to her boyfriend, whom is still at large, and his phones are off.
The postmortem conducted by government pathologist Titus Ndolungu on Monday evening indicated that Jepteling died from asphyxiation caused by manual neck compression.
A postmortem was conducted on the deceased, and the doctor formed the opinion that the cause of death was asphyxia due to neck compression and keeping to manual strangulation.
Vaginal swabs were also taken for further analysis to establish whether she was raped before she died. The exercise was conducted in the presence of the family members of the deceased and the police.
From our investigations, the age of the deceased girl is 19 years old. And as I said earlier, she's a first year in Karatina University.
She is the second university student to be discovered dead in her lover's house after another female student, Victoria Muthoni Theuri, who was found unresponsive in her boyfriend's house in Kahawa Wendani, Kiambu County. Detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, are now treating Ezra Kipkemoi, a security guard in Nakuru, as the prime suspect.
We are on with investigations with the objective of apprehending the main suspect to face justice in court.
And to the earlier story in Machakos, insecurity in Matungulu constituency, Machakos County, is at its peak after night guard was earlier today found murdered by unknown people in a suspected robbery at the First Mart supermarket in Telemarket. Now, this comes barely 2 weeks after yet another night guard lost his life in a similar scenario. Reporter Dennis Otieno with the details.
Residents of Tala, Machakos County, are living in fear after incessant murders in the area. The latest case being a night guard whose body was found outside a supermarket, which he was guarding after reports of a deadly robbery incident at the supermarket. Speaking to TV47 via a phone call, OCPD Matungulu Peter Omondi revealed that the suspects, who are still at large, are believed to have dragged the night guard before drilling through the walls of the supermarket and disconnected the power. The suspects then broke into the supermarket and ransacked the cash deposit box and fled with an unknown amount of money. Omondi stated that the police are still checking the inventory records to ascertain whether the suspects stole any other items from the supermarket. Residents of Tala, led by Member of County Assembly Jackson Ndaka, expressed their disappointment to the police, terming them reluctant, as Ndaka called on Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki to increase the number of police officers in the area, failure to which he says the residents will hold peaceful demonstrations for 7 days.
Ni kijana mdogo alikuwa anatafutia familia yake. Huyo kijana ameuawa, hakuwa na makosa, alikuwa the reign of duty, na kuna askari wetu hapa Tala Post wako wamelipwa, gari zinawekwa mafuta. Tunataka kuuliza hivi, kwani wao wanafanyanga kazi gani?
Wizi umekuwa mwingi hata huko kwa village. Kila siku ni nduru, watu wanaibiwa hapa. Tunauliza serikali iangalie hii maneno ya security liko hapa Tala na Matungulu at large.
Kama saa 1 asubuhi unaona wakimangamanga huko filabu, wanachukua kila mtu 100 wanapewa pesa huko bila. Tunasema hiyo ngari sisi hatutaki kuiona, na naambia Mheshimiwa Ndaga akuje saa 1 tuangalie hiyo ngari ikiingia, tutakuwa nao hapa tu hapa nao.
Kwa hivyo naomba Bwana Interior Minister, Bwana Kindiki, vile ulifanya kwa county commissioners wote 8 ukabadilisha. DCI Matungulu badilisha, OCPD Matungulu badilisha, OCS Tala badilisha.
This is the second time in 2 weeks that a night guard has been murdered in the area, after yet another night guard was murdered at the Nguluni Church. The body of the late night guard has since been taken to the Kangundo Hospital mortuary as investigations into the matter continue.
Well, now elsewhere, the hunger situation in the country may persist till June this year, owing to the failed short rains. This is according to Kenya Red Cross, which notes that the number of drought victims has been soaring by the day and is expected to go even higher. Sylvia Nyongesa with the details.
The Kenya Red Cross Emergency Preparedness and Response Manager Venat Ndigila says the failed rains usually witnessed between the months of October and December gave Kenyans, the government and humanitarian agencies a false hope, adding that substantial rains might start in May, thus making the first harvest to be ready as from May and June.
As we are approaching the January-February period, which is normally a dry season in the country, we expect, of course, surface temperatures to increase, and therefore the little rains which were received the other day to maybe exacerbate the situation even further. We have seen that some of the little rains which have come in some of the counties, they have presented a sense of false hope.
His sentiments were echoed by Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community, Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development, Rebecca Miano, who acknowledged that some parts of the country have not harvested any crop in 5 seasons.
This is not normal, and this is the effect of climate change. But here we are. The government has put in place measures to help alleviate the situation. It has itself reserved some funds to procure food and to also do some cash transfers. This committee, together with my ministry and the National Drought Management Committee, is also tasked to come up with long-term measures for drought resilience.
The CS led the Pamoja Tuungane initiative food distribution exercise in BAMBA area alongside Safaricom Foundation trustee Gladys Wambogo and World Vision director Gilbert Kamanga.
We've collected over 200 million from our business and from our 2 foundations, Safaricom Foundation and M-Pesa Foundation.
Meanwhile, residents of Adu village in Magarini sub-county have asked the county government of Kilifi and other partners to help set up boreholes that will provide water as a way to mitigate drought.
Maji kama unatafuta, saa ile unaenda ukatafuta maji, kesho kumekutwa tu unaingia hapa saa 12. Watoto wamelia mpaka wamenyamaza.
Diana badala ya county kujenga mradi huu na World Vision anajenga mradi mwingine tutashirikiana ili iwe kwa ukubwa zaidi, kwa upana zaidi.
Sylvia Nyongesa, TV 47.
Well, thank you, Sylvain Nyongesa, for that particular report. Remember, the big question this particular evening is, have you made any resolutions this year, 2023, and the resolutions made in 2022, how did they materialize, really? All right, talk to us on our social media platforms at TV47KE, that is on Facebook, and Twitter 22047 is our SMS number. We'll be right back after this break.
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Tika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, tika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Discover a world full of opportunities, a place to build your skill and see the world in a different perspective. Sensei Institute of Technology is the home to the best practical courses, giving you hands-on experience to handle the world. We offer courses such as plant operator, plant mechanics, driving and trailer driving, CCTV and alarm installation, solar installation, electrical installation, motor vehicle mechanics and electronics, building construction technology, welding fabrication, roads and dam construction, hospitality courses, and many more. For you to join us, ensure you have your national ID card and be ready to enjoy the ride.
Remember, my skills, my future at Sensei.
Sensei College, my skills, my future.
The secret to an instant glow and spotless skin. Acne C10 is a 10% pure vitamin C serum that effectively fades dark spots and clears dark patches. With a unique formulation, it is quickly absorbed deep into the skin to give optimal results. Acne C10, 10% pure vitamin C serum, safe on all skin types.
Trisent School of Medical Health Science and Technology is a premier training institute for market-driven courses. With state-of-the-art facilities, competent and dedicated members of staff, and linkages with the medical industry, you are assured of a bright future when you study with us. Enroll today in our campuses at Juja, Nairobi West, Kisumu, and Homa Bay.
Sienda nayo huko ndani, unaacha hapo kwa luggage ndio uingie.
Ni wacha kwa luggage namna gani nataka kutumia huko ndani? Nimekuja na hii gani ndio inatumika? Hii paketi ama hii kuchota? Kwani serious hii? Bwana wacheni mchezo bwana. Nini?
Karibu customer. Hizi bidhaa unaziacha pale kwenye luggage ndipo sasa ufanye shopping kwa supermarket yetu. Kuchota ni kufanya shopping pekee.
Ni kufanya shopping.
Sema na Hitia Supermarket ndio best. Kwa mara nyingine tena, Hitia Supermarket inakuletea chota kuchota na Hitia Supermarket. Ushiriki shindano la chota kuchota. Karibu nawe Kitale, Bungoma, Eldoret, Kakamega, Kisumu, Busia, Naivasha, Limuru, Nairobi, Thika, Nyeri, Meru, Chuka na Maua. Nunua bidhaa ya shilingi 600 na zaidi na utapewa raffle ticket. Jaza vizuri na utumbukize kwa sanduku iliyo mlangoni. Utakuwa umeingia kwa draw ya kujishindia zawadi. Daihatsu Mira, pikipiki 21 aina ya TVS, 1130 school fees, TVS, shopping vouchers na vingine vingi.
Bas, ni huku. Saidia mimi.
Chota kuchota imethaminiwa na Iwe Bacon, Savannah Juice Fruit Vial, My Choice Hand Wash, Zesta Choco Primo, Ketepa, Blue Band, Aramco, Oven Fresh Bread, Nivea, Silent Night Mattresses, Coca-Cola pamoja na Hisense. Shindano hili limeidhinishwa na BCLB permit number 002816. Sheria na masharti kutumika.
Chota kuchota na Hetia Supermarket, na hii motokaa gari smart kabisa inaweza kuwa yako. Unangoja nini? Ingia, fanya shopping yako Hetia Supermarket, uchoto kuchote na hii gari. Hii motokaa inaweza kuwa yako. Mtu anaweza pesa kwa boost.
Hetia Supermarket, a world of choice.
Imagine starting your academic journey here at the foot of Mount Kenya. A place where you can call home. A place where we celebrate our diversity and uniqueness. A place where you can be at your best, at work and at play. That place is Embu College. There's no better place to make the difference than Embu College. Karibu Embu College, where a holistic education matters.
Minutes past the top of the hour. Glad that you're still with us right here. TV47 News Tonight, your number one home of untold stories. And speaking of stories, as we mark the beginning of a new year, 2023, political and religious leaders in Nyeri County are calling on the government to hasten the plans to revive the country's economic status to relieve Kenyans from the current harsh cost of living. As our reporter Leo Horace now reports, Kenyans have continued to express high hopes that 2023 will be better off.
After the politically strenuous and stressful 2022, Kenyans are full of hope that this year will be much better, various leaders calling on the government to focus on ways to reduce the cost of living.
So we are asking the government and the President William Ruto to think about how he's going to handle this issue of increasing of electricity because the tariffs go high and the people in Kenya are economically handicapped.
Everything has been negative, hard economic times, high water tariffs, high electricity tariffs, high interest rates. The business has been so low. Quite a number of businesses have closed down. There was the electioneering period where there was about uncertainty and some anticipation for election violence. We thank God that we are now in a peaceful transition. We have the new administration. My expectation for 2023 is that this year is going to be an economic boom. William Ruto is going to be the Bill Clinton of Kenya. We are going to have a double-digit economic growth. We are going to have the lowering of living standards in terms of costs. Electricity tariffs are going to come down. Even if they remove the subsidy, I'm very sure they're going to have more generation for geothermal, so there will be more power to the national grid, and then we are going to lower the electricity tariff. And then the water tariffs also are going to come down. With the improved rains right now, at least there is a bit of rains. We expect some water levels in our rivers to raise. And also with the construction of the 100 dams, the first 100 mega dams that the Ruto administration has promised, seeing that water harvesting system is going to boost the food security in the country.
Even though those aligned to Kenya Kwanza government still hold that they inherited a failed government, they are positive about revival of the economic status by Ruto's administration.
Let's make Kenya a working nation, not a talking nation. The moment we change our politics and our way of doing things, we change from talking to working, that is the only way to go.
Religious leaders on their side want Ruto to serve Kenyans as promised during his campaigns to impact citizens equally.
It's my appeal to the government that we look upon the priorities, especially to take care of the common ordinary people who are actually going to suffer longer, especially in terms of hunger, because the living standard is a bit high at this particular time.
To reduce highly reported cases of suicide in the last year, Kenyans experiencing such causes as depression due to unbearable cost of life are urged to seek professional support.
And make sure that you are not living alone. Don't die there out alone. Look for a friend, look for a man of God somewhere, look for a counselor, and they can be able to guide you and help you to overcome and cope even in a very harsh circumstances that we are finding ourselves in.
Olo Hores TV 47 from Nyeri County.
Now, meanwhile, elderly people and those living with disability from Bibironi Ward in Limuru constituency, Kiambu County, have a reason to smile after members of Kiambu County Assembly waived disability assessment charges in all hospitals when trying to obtain medical reports. Speaking in Limuru constituency, Bibironi Ward MCA Christopher Ireri and nominated MCA Jacinta Mbacha urged residents not to hide the children who are living with disability and instead empower them with skills that will sustain them. Larry Kirenga, MCA Josephat Kinyanjui, who is a person living with a disability, urged the National Assembly to review the construction law that requires contractors and investors to consider people living, or rather people with disability, where they do not adhere to.
Assessment fee, assessment medical report, we'll get it free. Since that law was passed, that one has not been adhered by the constructors or by the owners of the house. So I can challenge the national government, especially our MPs, National Assembly, to revisit that law. And also, there are so many bureaucracies when somebody is disabled and is acquiring the tax compliance certificate.
Aficha watoto, waweza kuwa unaficha mtoto na ufiche baraka. Unaweza kuwa unaficha mtoto na maybe ufiche president. So unaweza ambia mzazi yako pale wewe umekosa hope juu ya mtoto ambaye ako na disability.
And over 1,000 shareholders from the controversial Embakasi Ranching Company have appealed to Land CS Zakaria Mwangi to intervene and resolve the persistent land row surrounding the company. The shareholders, drawn from Gatundu South, Githunguri, Kiamba, Kabete and Kikuyu, led by the chairman James Maingi Njoroge, and directors had gone for a site visit in Kajiado and Machakos counties. The irate and aggrieved shareholders have lamented that one of their lands in Athi River is allegedly occupied by Korean national illegally. The chairman is said that he is ready to present himself to the president and his deputy to seek for dialogue to ensure the elderly and the next of kin get the pieces of land.
Luton Gachagua, and I hope his administration is going to assist Embakasi Ranching Company so that we get our right. And therefore, I hope our shareholders, wherever you are, if you have not joined us, please do so.
Tumepigwa vita na wale walikuweko mbeleni. Wale raji le PS na wale wengine walitupiga vita, wakasema wanataka wakae na wale wengine. Sasa tukawauliza ni Kenya gani tuko? Kama tumechaguliwa, si uchaguzi ulikuweko? Wale walichaguliwa si wako bunge? Wale hawakuchaguliwa si walienda nyumbani wakaweka kesi? Kwa nini Embakasi peke yake iliambiwa director wao hawezi kuwa kwa ofisi? Wanakuwa ni nani? Ati wale walikuweko directors, wale wengine ndio wanakaa kwa ofisi.
And from matters land to matters health, Kilifi Governor Gideon Mungaro has assured residents that he will put measures in place to stop the looming doctor strike in the county. Now, addressing journalists at his Dabaso home during the New Year celebrations, the governor said that despite the pending countrywide doctors' call to strike and paralyze health services, he was in talks with the doctors' union to make sure that their grievances are met and addressed.
Kugomea kazi Kenya nzima ili tuongee na hao kama kaunti ya Kilifi, na tumepata suluhu ya mambo mengine. Yalikuwa ni mambo ya ile CBA ambayo ni mambo ya promotion. Hivi karibuni, nafikiri wiki 2-3 zijazo, madaktari kadhaa watapewa ngazi mpya ya kikazi. Hii ni baadhi ya yale masuala ambayo tunajaribu kutatua hapa ndani kabla tuende Kenya. Tuangalie Kilifi kwanza. Mjasikia nikishabikia, mimi nafanya kazi na rais kwa sababu katiba inasema kutakuwa na serikali za county na serikali ya kitaifa, na kwamba serikali hizi mbili zitafanya kazi pamoja.
Now, as the term of the IEBC commissioners comes to an end this month, members of the clergy now want the government to promptly put in place a new autonomous commission to drive electoral matters going forward. Speaking during the opening of New Glory Outreach Assembly, that is GOA Church at Murera Village in Juja, Kiambu County, priests led by the Federation of Evangelical and Indigenous Christian Churches of Kenya, Secretary General Bishop David Turkana rooted for a bipartisan commission that will not plunge the country back to the former pre- and post-election mayhem.
Tungependa kuona IEBC ambayo haigiriwi na serikali. Tungependa kuona IEBC ambayo inapewa pesa za kutosha na serikali ndio iweze kuwa independent, ndio iweze kufanya kazi yake bila kuingiliwa na wanasiasa, kwa sababu tuliona katika uchaguzi uliopita kwamba kuna watu ambao waliweza kuingiliwa sana na wanasiasa ama politician, kwa sababu labda walishangia kwa wao kuingia kwa hiyo IEBC.
We thank God and we pray as a church that the IEBC that will replace the ones that are retiring will be people who love this nation and who have Kenya.
At some party politics, members of the Jubilee Party in Busia County have ditched the party, citing discrimination and frustrations from national office led by Secretary General Nagafu Sabi and former gubernatorial candidate Lucas Meso, who was denied a ticket ahead of the August polls, noted that they decided to leave the party to seek a new home after soul searching and consultation with their followers across the county. They also said that they're ready to work with the government of the day to ensure meaningful development in the county.
Viongozi waliokuwa mbele hawakutudhamini, ndio tukasema kwamba, ama ndio nikasema kwamba ikiwa mtu anakufukuza ama Mswahili anasema kufukuzae hakwambii toka, na ni kwa sababu chama hakikunidhamini ndio leo hii toka kirasi.
Hii party kulingana na sisi ni party yenye haitaki kujenga watu wa Busia.
Registrar of political parties lazima atafute njia ya kuzuia vyama kulagai wananchi. Imagine utoe pesa za nomination. Kama governor tulikuwa tunatoa 500,000 milioni, yani nusu milioni, na wananyamaza tu na hizo pesa. So mimi nataka registrar of political parties ajaribu wasaidie wale wawaniaji ambao walilipa pesa na hawakupata nafasi ya kupewa tickets.
Na sasa jinsi nawaambia hivi, niko naweka kifuli kwa mlango wa Jubilee, ofisi ya Jubilee Busia County, na tunaondoka na kila faili yetu.
Now moving on, President William Ruto has revealed his plans to realize affordable housing for all in a bid to promote a decent environment for Kenyan towns and cities. Speaking in Mombasa, the head of state promised to inject funds in the construction of 10,000 housing units in Mombasa to complement the already constructed house units at the Buxton Point. The Council of Imams and Preachers of Kenya, CIPK, has welcomed the initiative, calling on the government to intervene on the agreement signed for the over 500 Buxton residents to acquire the houses in 2 years' time, expressing fears that the period might weigh down some tenants.
Nimekubaliana na gavana wa Mombasa ya kwamba program ya nyumba 10,000 za Mombasa tuanze kuipangia. Tayari inajengwa saa hizi nyumba 40,000. Tutaanzisha zingine mapema mwaka huu. Nitakuwa Nakuru, nitakuwa Bungoma, nitakuwa kule Homa Bay, nitakuwa hapa Mombasa na sehemu zingine za Kenya.
Pewe muda kama ni miaka 20, miaka 15, ile watu wanasema tenant purchases. Tukifanyiwa hilo, basi rais utakuwa umetupa zawadi kubwa sana, ili tuweze kwa kipindi hiko tukitoa wakati tunalipa ile kodi yetu ndio tunanunua nyumba kabisa. Hilo ndio ombi letu, zile nyumba tupatiwe kwa tenant purchases. Wengi au majority wetu tumeshindwa. Ule mkataba umetushinda kulipa kwa kipindi cha miaka miwili ili kuwe.
And enough of the main news, let's jump into the wonderful world of sports. And we begin with some football action. Saga Sharks were crowned the champions of the Real Highway Heroes tournament in the seniors category after defeating Real Highway Academy 1-0 in the final at the St. Silvestri's grounds in Ugenya, Siaya County. David Ocheng fired the visitors ahead with a solitary goal of the match in the 60th minute as Saga Sharks held on to victory. Michael Owino from Real Highway Academy was however named the category's top scorer with 3 goals to his name. The tournament that sought to identify and nurture talent, and the grassroots comprised of the under-13 category, where Timothy Oduol was named the top scorer, the under-15 category, where Real Highway's Victor Omondi was named as the best player, while in the ladies category, Brenda Chieng of the Nyasanda Starlets was named as the best player.